So if you're here visiting Hanover, chances are you're probably only going to be here for about 24 hours since it's not the most exciting city.
And your 24 hours is probably going to start right at the Hauptbahnhof behind us here, which is the main train station, and it's basically right in the middle of the city.
So we just grabbed something quick to eat in the Hauptbahnhof for breakfast. That's the main train station right behind us over here. There's plenty of options for quick to-go foods like pastries or sandwiches, so you can grab something from there and then start your day.
So we just got a couple bakery items here. So now that we got something to eat, we're gonna stop at the Hanover Tourism Office, which when you leave the Hauptbahnhof is straight ahead and a little bit to the left. And that's where the most famous thing here in Hanover starts, and that's the Red Thread, because it takes you to all of the most historic sites in the city. Now, you can go inside and get a book that explains all the stops on it for about €3, or you can just walk it as it takes you through the center of the city and stops at all the most important things, some of them being a little bit more important and historic than others. So one of the first stops on the Red Thread is the Opera House right behind me here. It's a pretty impressive building and super famous here in Hanover. And while we're not going to show you every single stop on the Red Thread, because we're going to leave that up to your imagination and something that you can experience when you come to Hanover yourself, we're going to stop and show you some of our favorites. So let's keep going and see what's up next.
One of the main stops on the Red Thread is the Ägidientorkirche. It's a 14th century church here in Hanover that was bombed during World War II. They left it up as a memorial. It's really interesting to see the inside of it. The ceiling is totally gone, but they've left up the walls so you can kind of see the roof here.
The new town hall behind me here is without a doubt probably one of the most stunning and iconic buildings here in Hanover. It was built in 1913, and not only is it beautiful from the outside, but it's beautiful on the inside, so going in is a must, and that's what we're gonna do now. However, right now you cannot go to the top of it. There is an elevator that is actually almost one of a kind because it takes you up at an angle, not an exact diagonal angle, but it actually curves with the dome of the building all the way to the top. However, it's closed for repairs right now, so unfortunately we can't do that, but hopefully when you visit Hanover, you'll be able to do that. Now, let's head inside and see what it's all about. All right, so we are outside of the new town hall and actually on the other side of it. And this side you definitely have to check out. There's this beautiful park with this pond behind me, and you get an awesome reflection of the new town hall right in it. But inside of the new town hall, like we said, it's something you have to check out because of the architecture, but also because of the models. They have 4 different models of the city of Hanover, one from right before World War II, and then one from during World War II, where you can really see how much of the city was destroyed. Actually, about 90% of Hanover was destroyed, which is why you have some areas specifically outside of the Hauptbahnhof that are kind of newer and maybe a little bit uglier or more functional because they had to rebuild them quick to get the city up and running. And just seeing those models really puts it into perspective. Now let's keep going with these 24 hours in Hanover.
So just on the other side of the town hall, there's this man-made lake called the Machsee. It's a really nice place to come here and relax. There is a loop that goes all the way around the whole lake. You might not have time for that just in one day, but you should still come here and check it out because it is beautiful.
Just across the street from the Machsee is the Sprengel Art Museum, and if you're there on a Friday, admission is free. Otherwise, you could probably skip it unless you're really into modern art. Well, Hanover definitely isn't one of the most beautiful cities in Europe, or even Germany by that means. This part is affectionately known as Little Venice, and it might be a little bit of a joke, but it kind of has a little bit of a Venice feel if you really use your imagination. But it gives you a beautiful view of the Leine Schloss as well as the Leine River and the new town hall back there. After all this walking around and exploring Hanover, you're probably getting hungry, so we recommend heading to Cafe Conrad. Here we got a bagel with cheese, tomato, pesto, and lettuce with balsamic vinaigrette, plus a piece of apple cake. Their cakes are outstanding, and we highly recommend stopping here when you're in Hanover. So the red thread takes you through plenty of places right through Hanover's Altstadt, and while the Altstadt or the Old Town is beautiful, it's definitely not one of the most beautiful here in Germany. You can check out our other videos like of Bamberg right here, where the Old Town is absolutely amazing, but it's still worth going through. We love half-timbered houses, and the ones here in Hanover are great, but it's a smaller Old Town, so you'll definitely be able to see it all in a day. One of the most popular things in Hanover to do that you could probably squeeze into a day is visit the Herrenhäuser Garden. It's one of Europe's best Baroque gardens, but it's a 50-minute walk from the center or about an 18-minute tram ride. But you can get a day ticket that allows you as many trips as you want on the tram for $6.80, or the price of 2 rides. So one of the other main things here to see in Hanover, and again, it's right on the red thread, is the Markkirche, or the main church right behind me here. It was built in the 14th century, and funny enough, according to Wikipedia, it's actually the southernmost style of northern brick Gothic architecture. So whatever exactly that means, that sounds like a very specific example to make yourself sort of a superlative, but it's worth a stop. It's free to go inside, check it out. It's not as impressive as other churches we've seen, but again, definitely worth the stop. It's right in the center on the red thread, and it's pretty cool to see. You can even hear the bells going off behind me here. And if you look all the way at the top, there's actually an upside down pentagram, which can have some different meanings, but you're gonna have to check out our Strange Things in Hanover video in order to find out what that's all about. So check that video out right up here. Now, let's keep going.
So one thing to definitely do when you're in Hanover is to stop here at the Markthalle. There's many different options for food. If you're here with a big group, you can all pick something that you like. There's the Balsen outlet upstairs on the 2nd floor. They have the Leibniz cookies here that are known in Hanover, and something that you might want to bring back home as a souvenir. Another pro tip is that the bathrooms here are totally free. So if you're walking around town and you need some place to go, stop in here.
So one of the things a lot of people have told us that's really unique to Hanover, and we didn't actually notice until we went to other cities, are kiosks. And it's basically a small corner store where you can get snacks, a little bit of food, something like that, but most importantly, beer. So we decided to stop at one, and then you can drink in Germany in public, so we got it to go. We stopped at a park here, and I have Herrenhäuser, a beer here from Hanover, and we're gonna drink this before we head to our last stop of this one day in Hanover. So Prost.
Prost.
So we are on the other side of the Hofbahnhof here at Rheinzach. It's one of our favorite German restaurants here in Hanover, which is why we decided to include this. While there are a bunch of other great restaurants here, this one's not only close to the train station where you're probably leaving from, but it's a great authentic German restaurant. And I decided to get the Käsespätzle. It's like a German mac and cheese. This is absolutely delicious. This cheese is exquisite, the crunchy onions on top, and everything about it is outstanding. It's probably the best one we've had here in Germany, and definitely the best in Hanover.
Right, so I got the pumpkin dumplings. This is a really good vegetarian or vegan option. They come with mushrooms and Brussels sprouts, and I've had it before. They're delicious. We actually had it on the pumpkin seasoning menu, and they added it to their regular menu, which I was so happy about. That dinner was absolutely delicious.
Yeah, and with that, it's probably back to the train station for your one day in Hanover, and we'll see you over at our other videos. Bye.